Welcome, paranormal enthusiasts, to this week's episode of We're Creepin It Real, here on the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network, where everyone comes for their paranormal fix. Real people, real stories, in real time. So glad you could join us for some ghostly gab. I'm your host, Eleanor Wagner.
As always, I appreciate you hitting the subscribe tab, follow button, or show app on your podcast of choice. Everybody give a hello, shout out to our Coast to Coast techie, Chris Mabry. He'll be working hard tonight to help us run smoothly. Remember, we welcome audience participation, so be sure to go to feed to comment on the chat line so we can get your questions and be able to answer them accordingly. I'm so excited to introduce Paranormal Society out of Newark, Ohio. Joe Campbell, the group's founder, has been on over 100 investigations spanning back as far as 2015. He had the great fortune of being featured in a paranormal documentary for La Mazzulli entitled On the Trail of the Nephilim. Bill Squires lives in Lancaster, Ohio, and has been investigating with his wife since 2012. After a number of public events, Bill met and clicked with Joe, and in 2020, he invited Bill to join his own team. Join me in welcoming Joe Campbell and Bill Squires. Hi, guys.
Hey, how are you doing?
Thank you for coming. You've got quite the resume as far as investigating haunted places, that's for sure. Since we have so many to cover tonight, let's dive right in, shall we? The Fairfield County Infirmary, this 35,000 square foot historical landmark, which served the less fortunate in the community for over 170 years, is an imposing brick structure situated just north of Lancaster, Ohio. In 1828, it was filled to capacity from out of the community with the destitute, mentally ill, physically disabled, elderly, and orphaned so that they could receive food, clothing, shelter, and proper medical care. The last known use of the building was in 2013. Photo credit to the infirmary website. Today, it features overnight ghost hunts, evidentiary enough to test one's nerves, equipped with a former morgue which housed bodies of those who died during the long winters, and now is alive with residual energy. Past events there have warranted visits from a ghost named Willie, who haunts the second and third floors, to a little girl named Susie, who appears and vanishes into thin air. Disembodied voices, slamming of cell doors in a jail-like area which used to contain problem residents, the smell of lavender perfume, objects moving on their own, are all other interesting forms of activity noted. There's even room 322, which is known to be extremely active. The Newark Paranormal Society had the distinct opportunity of partaking in such an investigation there in 2021. It was like 10 degrees inside at the time of the investigation, you said, Bill, right?
Yes.
Did you all get to experience anything like what I mentioned has been recorded there in the past?
When we were there, it was February last year, and it was really cold. So we only lasted a couple hours. Our equipment kept dying because the batteries were getting cold. And I mean, I think we got some EVPs and caught a couple things on the SLS camera. And some of them.
As I understand it, you have some footage to share with the audience today, correct?
Yes.
About the SLS camera footage?
Yeah.
Okay. Want to tell us about that?
I know. I can't remember what.
A wheelchair.
Yeah, I know it was in a wheelchair.
It was in a wheelchair.
They have a room that I think we were in the room that was set up like a funeral parlor.
I can't remember.
It's
been a while.
But there was a wheelchair there, and I caught a figure sitting in the wheelchair. And Joe went over and stood next to it. And we actually got it to reach up and grab his arm.
Oh, is that the footage that you brought with you today?
Yes.
Oh, Chris, you want great. We'll run.
Reach out and touch Joe. Am I touching it?
Yeah, you're right. Oh, there it goes.
Just grabbed it.
Yep, you grabbed your arm.
Did you grab my arm?
Yeah. He grabbed your hand.
Can you pull my sleeve? It's on my hand.
Yeah.
I can feel it.
Ooh. So what did it feel like on your hand?
It feels like static electricity, pretty much. It's even though it was freezing cold that night, I mean, it was terrible. But like, the reason why I asked it to pull my sleeve is because I couldn't really feel anything other than, you know what I mean? My hand was cold, but it wasn't to the point where like it was going to fall off or anything. But like, yeah. So like I was trying to see if I could get it to pull my sleeve because I could not feel it touching my arm, even though I had a hoodie on or whatever, and it touched my hand and it felt like it set static electricity at the time that just hit my hand, and it was almost like pins touching your hand.
So there was no doubt it wasn't the cold, that it was something that
No,
was
it
touching
wasn't
you.
cold. No.
Well, it would make sense because it coincided with the actual SLS footage at the same time you were experiencing that. So
yeah, whenever we catch anything on the SLS, we try to get it to interact because I mean, I don't fully know how the SLS thing works. You know, it picks up figures that it thinks is there. Sometimes it might pick up, like if a shirt is hanging on a hanger, it might map out a person because it has that same shape. But if we can get it to interact, then we know that it's something other than just the camera thinking something's there.
Yeah, because if something's just standing there, if something's just standing there and you ask it to do something, it's just standing there. That's pretty much nothing. It's just mapping something.
You do those things so that you could try and debunk it or not. I remember we were on an investigation one time, my paranormal team, and we were in an antique shop that was loaded with little kid ghosts, and we did the same thing. We were getting this swaying of this old carriage that was up on the ceiling, and we were making sure there was no cold blast coming from anywhere that was making it move. And then when we got the SLS camera, we saw the kids hanging from this pram, swinging back and forth. So we did other things to try and confirm and debunk, but it was verified that they were there and they were interacting with us by swinging from the pram.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Now, Franklin Castle in Cleveland, Ohio, is the Haynes Tiedemann House, and the photo credit to the Franklin Castle website. This gorgeous Victorian stone house, built in 1881, is 4 stories high with more than 20 rooms. It is considered the most haunted place in Ohio, and Joe got to investigate it. In 1961, the James Romano family reported ghostly encounters. They attempted exorcisms and even had a ghost hunting group called the Northeast Ohio Psychical Research Society, which is now defunct. What do you have to report on this lovely abode, Joe?
Well, Franklin Castle is another level. You really got to be careful when you go into Franklin Castle. Basically, we pulled up to the house, and there was an old man standing outside the building saying Bible scriptures out in front of the house. Strangest thing I ever seen.
Okay.
So they took us to dinner that day. Actually, the old team was guinea pigs for investigators to investigate again. So I got to investigate it for 10 hours that night. And when you walk in, you could feel the energy. You're just like, I don't think we should investigate this place by ourselves.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the place is fantastic. I mean, it's a beautiful building. It's just not Franklin Castle. It's the whole neighborhood.
One of those alive with energy.
It's the whole neighborhood's like at it. the only reason why Franklin Castle is so big, so important, whatever, out here in Ohio, is because of the way it looks. It looks like an actual castle. It was under construction at the time, and
Like renovations to bring it back to its natural grandeur.
right. So
Usually, that stirs up energy when people are doing stuff like that. So,
but through the night we had over recorders. You could hear stuff laughing at us. We had stuff getting thrown on the floor in different rooms. You can hear it, and we'd go to it. We couldn't figure out what it was.
we knew what that was.
You could literally just hear it get thrown on the floor.
Wow.
I had an investigator chasing something around the house, and I told him don't do that, and he did it anyway. And something followed him home, and he couldn't shake it for, I want to say, 2 years. So when you go to Franklin Castle, you really need to respect what is in this place, because if you do not, it could end up something different for you.
That's definitely rule number one, is respecting spirit, regardless of the situation, because I liken it to moving into an area where there's wildlife. Like, I live in farmland, but we have deer and fox and coyote and all sorts of stuff where I live. And I moved, a city girl, into this area, and I need to respect that wildlife because I'm in their space. And I look at it the same way with ghosts and spirits. You're going into their space, and you should be respecting them like you would respect another human being. You should be respecting spirit and death.
Yeah, because I could literally sit in the living room, and I'll be seeing dark shadows walking past me. They were not worried. I'm sure they were wondering what we were doing there, but because actually the place, they didn't have anybody investigating the place since Nick and Katrina off their show. I can't remember the name of the show now, but no. It's that other one where they spent the night for 3 days.
Oh,
but the owners, they didn't want anybody else in the place because an electrician came to fix something in the house, and his wife or girlfriend or something like that came with him, and the caretaker's like, I gotta go to the restroom, I'll be back. So when he went to the restroom, the wife or girlfriend or whatever was running around the house taking pictures of the place. She was a photographer for a magazine in Cleveland, Ohio. So she published these pictures in the magazine. And I guess the owners got upset about it and said, I don't want nobody else in the house. And 3 or 4 years later, the opportunity came up.
Can I just ask you something?
Sure.
I caught the part about she was a photographer for a magazine and she was taking a bunch of pictures, but I lost it after that. So I kind of think I missed the message that you were trying. What was she doing when she was taking pictures?
She was running around the house taking pictures, and she published them in a magazine without
permission.
Exactly. So the owners basically said, I don't want anybody else in this house.
Sure.
So I believe they live in Germany, but I could be wrong. But so 3 or 4 years later, we connected with Franklin Castle somehow, and I can't remember. And I'm sure if I say what it is, my wife's like, that's not how it went. But they asked us if we wanted to investigate. I said, absolutely. So we went in there all night long, and it was just, I have to say, it's probably one of my best investigations ever. It was just amazing being in that place.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I wasn't on the team yet.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to go back again if you get the chance to. A lot of the times we go back to places 2 and 3 times because, sometimes you don't get anything on that first, or you want to keep on seeing what you can pick up. Are you sensitive to spirit, you guys? Either of you? Have you been like that since childhood, or you just love the paranormal and just
I know I don't really sense anything.
I don't either. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm a sensitive or not or anything like that. I think it has to do with a lot of experience where I've been to and what the situation is, different things like that.
Well, yeah, because we can go in a place and I can try to get EVPs or whatever, and I can't, I won't get anything. And he'll do the same thing minutes later and he'll get tons.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's a really good thing, because then you know that what you're getting is legitimate too, because you've never experienced it before, you haven't, or you know that when it does, it's something for you that's verifiable.
Well, an example of it was, I think you might have a video of it when we were at Post Town Elementary School.
Yeah, we'll show that a little later.
And
for sure.
We did like we went in one of the classrooms by ourselves and did like 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes by ourselves. And
it's an isolation investigation.
Couldn't think of the word. But I didn't get any EVPs. We had I don't know if you've seen the cat balls that light up, they're cat toys.
Trigger off.
And so we had one of those in there. And I didn't get any responses on that. He goes in there after me. He
goes in and he gets it.
I think the cat toy went off like 7 times on command, and
the spirits know you in the spirit world. That's what it is.
Well, I kind of look at it also too. It's like you just can't walk into a room or a structure or something and just expect your devices to go off. You just can't.
Right.
So
no, you can't.
So when you go in, you hold the device up and you say, "Can you make this device change colors? Have it
do something.
Do something." And when I went into that room in Mrs. Johnson's classroom, that's what I actually did. So
cool. The historic George E. Thornburg House, located at Barbersville, Cabal County in West Virginia, was built in 1901 for George E. Thornburg. Photo credit to the Thornburg House website. Chris is going to put that picture up. After Thornburg died in 1921, the residence was renovated as Poindexter Apartments, which catered to students attending Morris Harvey College. After being restored to its original glory by First State Bank, it was used by them for its offices. Currently, it's home to ZBA Financial Group offices. So what happened there? Is there a story behind the hauntings in that building?
Well, you got the picture of Franklin Castle up.
Oh, okay. Chris, you got the wrong picture up.
That's all right. So
he'll put it up.
Okay.
But you can go ahead and tell us.
Okay. We got contacted by the mayor of Barbersville, West Virginia, and asked to come down and investigate this place. And we said, absolutely. I mean, a mayor asked us to come down and investigate the Thornburg house, which has never been investigated ever. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
It has never been investigated ever. We were the first to ever investigate it. Claims were the workers, there's offices in that building now. So the claims were people were seeing shadows, stuff moving on its own, hearing voices, different stuff like that. And they weren't sure if the place was haunted or they were just hearing stuff or seeing stuff. So 4 of us went down there and wheeled our stuff in. As we were setting up, I don't know if you have the video of the garland moving on its own on the staircase or whatever.
You actually sent us a few pieces of video footage that we're going to show the audience in a minute. But why don't you go ahead and tell us what happened before we show them the videos?
Sure. Me and another investigator was setting up cameras at the time, And he happened to turn around and look and saw the garland moving on its own on the staircase. And I was like, "You sure you didn't trip on nothing?" He's like, "There's nothing to trip on. There's no wires." So basically what it was just garland going up the staircase. And nobody was around, and you just saw the garland just move on its own. Like something ran up the stairs at that time and just like
rustled it along the way that they were running.
Right.
The wind,
And
yeah.
So
And
luckily
it was just the four of you at the time, right?
Yes, and the mayor. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so luckily we were recording at the time. And so we went back and looked, and sure enough, you could actually see that garland move on its own.
Wow.
It was just fabulous. I was just like, wow. So we've got a lot of different EVPs in there. We played music from their time period, which I love to do.
That's a trigger, yeah.
Yes. And the thing is, you have to get the right timeline. Let's put it that way. The correct timeline to where
they'll recognize it.
Exactly. The correct timeline of which that whatever is there used to be there and can interact with you.
Sure.
So we figured it out, and we started playing some early 1900s music back in the day, I guess 1920s, something like that. And the place came alive. Like they had a room that was shut off where we couldn't get in there because it was a business of some sort, or they had some sort of office in there. And when we were playing this music, the alarm clock went off on its own.
Mm.
And the mayor said that never goes off on its own ever.
Wow. Very cool.
It's like the house came alive, and it was just fabulous.
Beautiful building. I know you brought like 2 or 3 pieces of footage for the audience today. Why don't we start running that stuff, Chris, so that they can watch it, and we can maybe talk about it after we view it.
This place is just awesome. It's a dark shadow coming across, and it hits the camera. Oh God! And then it goes back again. Fast. Wow.
That was good. I like that.
Well,
very cool.
Garland that's on the post over there. See, it's a dining room over there where the arrow is. Look at this spot right here. You'll see the garland move along with the wire underneath. And then you'll see Alex come in because he's seen it. So this was in the beginning of the night. So here you go, okay? Watch it. Yeah. And here comes Alex to save the day. Yep. There you go. We couldn't figure it out.
With a camera or something? Was he in another room?
Yeah, he was down the hallway. We were
and
saying,
he
yeah.
So how did he happen to know that the garland had moved? Like, how did he know that?
I think he was fixing a wire or something that was laying on the floor, and he kind of picked it up, and he happened to look up, and he's seen the garland go back and forth on its own. The wire was connected to absolutely nothing. It was just hanging off the staircase. There's like a post or what do you want to call it? Right next
Well,
to
it could have been the lighted stuff on the garland, because I know a lot of times I'll have garland with lights on it, and you go to plug it in so that they light up. So maybe that's what it was. It was the light that would have maybe lit up this garland.
But
yeah.
nothing was plugged in, because we checked along the wall right there. Nothing was plugged in. Nothing was
No vents.
Nothing on the floor. No nothing. I mean, it was just hanging there. Like
Wow. Okay.
It
And then
was like
just
really
out of
strange.
nowhere.
So
Did you guys go to check if there was a draft coming from somewhere that might have
oh
been the
sure.
cause of it? Yeah,
we
you did.
we checked everywhere and we're trying to figure out where this came from, and there was no draft coming in the door. I mean, that building is they took care of that building. And there's no yeah, like Bill said, there was no vents underneath it. It was just it just happened at that time. That was it. And
Wow.
we watched that all night long to see if that would actually happen again, to debunk it. And
Right.
that wasn't the case. It didn't happen again.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
it was the
Yeah, but
strangest.
I definitely get the impression like something ran by.
Yeah, like or took
Yeah,
off
like
the
something.
stairs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like maybe even a kid running down the hall and then, it's going to shake things. It's going to shake the floor. It's going to shake the door and make it move. So,
Sure.
but there was nothing there. So, yeah, that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And the thing with the other picture or the other video was when a thing came into view and hit our camera and it took off. We were sitting. It was in a wide open spot. There was no windows around, and we were sitting in another room. And me and Alex was asking questions. The camera was right behind me, so all of a sudden you see over the video something come around really slow, like it was coming around the walls, came up behind me, and you see it, the camera moved on its own.
Mm,
Hit it. And then I know exactly the time that it did because I was sitting there, we were asking questions, we were being quiet, and I heard a thud in back of me. And of course, when I was like, "Hey Alex," I was like, "That's right behind me."
right.
So we go back downstairs, and I have a guy sitting at the computer or at the monitor watching it, and the mayor's standing there going, "Oh my god!"
Sometimes they're anxious to go on these investigations, but are sorry that they went because they didn't know what they were going to be in for when they actually go on them.
He didn't stay.
But
He didn't stay all night.
no,
Yeah,
I wonder why. I know that when we're on an investigation, a lot of the times when we're sensing something or we have something going on, if we'll take a lot of pictures or we have the video going or the audio, it's oftentimes at that time that we were sensing or feeling something when we go back to listen or watch that we've unearthed something, whether it be an orb or an EVP. And it just, like I said, verifies the fact that what we were sensing or feeling at that time was something, in fact, you know. Now, the Gill House in Galion, Ohio, whose family line dates all the way back to 1818, was built in the first decade of the 20th century by one of the Galion founding families. Gill House photo credit to the Gill House website. The 6,000 square foot mansion boasted many a celebrated guest over the years behind its doors. One of the area's historical landmarks, it has had its share of visiting spirits as well. You guys help and promote public hunts for them, correct?
Yes.
What is that all about?
It's they about maybe twice a year they'll do a public hunt. They'll get about 15 people in there, and I think it's like $25 or something like that. But it all goes towards because they're actually working on the house. They're painting it and trying to fix it up, and they do private hunts too. But they about twice a year they do public ones, and we go up and take the group around, split the group up, take them around, let them use our equipment if they don't have their own, and just kind of let them do their own thing. We're just kind of there to supervise and answer questions if they have any questions. But
Allow them to have the experience.
yeah,
sure. Because I've been investigating it for almost 10 years now. I mean, when we do these public ghost hunts and different things like that, I mean, you're not an investigator anymore. You're a teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
because experienced investigators like us, we're teachers now. We're not really, you know what I mean? We go to these locations and we get evidence, and you're kind of like, it's more exciting to teach somebody what we do as for us go out and actually pick up our own evidence anymore, pretty much. But I still like getting evidence, really cool stuff. But
well, it's nice when they get
Excited.
evidence.
Yeah, they get excited about it. It's like mentoring
Yeah.
them and helping them to learn the ropes, and they get excited when, well, I still get excited when something
oh yeah,
comes. And I'm not nearly as experienced or gifted as some of the people on my team. So when we're on an investigation and something that I've done is a piece of the puzzle that makes something happen, I'm just like a giddy kid. I'm like, oh my God, I did that. You know, but it's strange how all of your energies together can make things happen. And everybody's got their piece of the puzzle that fits in because they've got their gifts that they share with the group. And I've always felt like the group should be a mentoring group and nobody should be better than anybody else. We just help each other out because it's for the benefit of the spirit and the paranormal world. So
yeah.
I get that. Bill, you got some good stuff from Gil this past weekend, right? You sent that over to me yesterday, I think, right? Chris, can you load the footage for us so we can see what Bill got?
Yeah, SLS.
The SLS.
Yep, that's one of my favorite gadgets. But
I know I like them too. I like them too.
I actually made my own. He has one that he ordered.
Oh, here it is. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, there's a woman, one of the public, one of the people that came to the public hunt is sitting in a chair, and I'm just kind of going around the room with the SLS, wasn't really getting anything, and then it just kind of appeared along behind her.
Behind the lady that was standing there.
Yeah.
I know with the SLS camera, when we usually, if we stand in front of it, we kind of look like stick figures too. Yeah. So that when you move away, if something's there, then it's like, uh-oh.
Is that a picture?
That was a picture, but I did send him the video that you sent me. Chris, did you have that or did you not find that?
I don't think I have it right now. Which one would it?
Okay, I'm going to see if I can send it to you again so that you could put it up. Because that looked like it was just a picture. It just looked like an actual screenshot of it. But he had sent the video so that we could watch it. I just sent it to you so you could see it.
And we get a lot of SLS evidence out of the Gill house.
So what tools do you usually use? I know you said you use the SLS, obviously, and you use audio equipment. Is there anything else that you use as a team?
We have a REM pod. We have like the cat toys that light up. Our
millimeter, Ovilus.
Yeah.
We got
voice recorders,
digital voice recorders. We got
it sounds like you got a lot of stuff. You don't find the REM pod to be too noisy?
All I got was a picture.
All you got was that picture. Oh,
maybe you could. It doesn't bother me any. I mean, it lets you know if something is doing something like changing temperature or something hits that antenna, like the energy hits the antenna, or and it goes off. You can hear it through the house, which is pretty amazing. I like the REM pod. I mean, it's pretty good. But me myself, I'm pretty much a digital voice recorder, camera kind of guy. Bill likes the techie kind of stuff like the SLS camera, and
I did send the picture.
It's good to have a happy mix, though. I mean, I know that we have a little bit of everything too. We kind of work along the more traditional line of thinking, so that we'll use dowsing rods and pendulums, and the mediums will use their own senses and connection that they have. But I do have some techie people that have the SLS and they have the spirit box, which I love. I love the spirit box. And we always have our K2s and audio equipment with us because you never know what you're going to catch and who all is running their video too, because somebody wants to catch and grab something along the way and then look back and see what we got. And then taking pictures, obviously, because you can go back later and look at the pictures and not realize what it is that you caught and be like, oh my God. Right.
Definitely.
Some of my best catches have been in photographs that I didn't find until later when I went
The
home.
Gill House also was my very first investigation.
Oh, okay.
That was seemed like 100 years ago, and I went with a different team. I joined a team back in 2014, 15, whatever, and I went on an investigation to the Gill House, and I caught my first piece of evidence, and I was hooked.
Really?
That was it. I mean, so we were going to go to a glass museum or something like that in Cleveland, and this guy decides to cancel the ghost hunt so he could go play frisbee golf. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I just basically, I told my wife, I said, I'm going to start my own team.
Good for you.
And I did it. I mean, a lot of traveling. I promise, a lot of traveling.
I'll bet. Chris, we just sent that over to you. Did you get it so you could put it up for the audience?
And that's what kind of hooked me, was my first piece of evidence I caught, and I was hooked.
It gets you excited.
Yeah.
I know. I've been going on like weekend outings with girlfriends of mine for years. Like we'll pick a location and go for overnights. But when I was writing my first book, Sussex County Hauntings and Other Strange Phenomena, we had the opportunity to go in an old mine, which is local to our area. And it was really, I was just interviewing them for the story for the book. Oh, here's the footage. Let's watch this footage from the Gill House.
Yeah, you see it's kind of this like kind of bending down, touching her shoulders.
Yep. Looks like it's tugging her.
Who's standing beside me? Is it Ava? Yeah.
And they were using an app.
Is it Dean?
He might be muted.
Oh, dang it.
Then it like stands up and disappears.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Who's standing
And it's weird because
is it Ava?
I think it
At the
just
end,
repeats that.
Yeah.
Now the lady who was sitting down, did she sense it? Did she feel it there?
She really didn't say. I know she said something about getting chills. I think before I actually got it on camera. But I mean, she really didn't say a whole lot about, feeling much, but it was weird how it, it's leaning over, then it stands up and then just disappears. Like it stands up.
Well, it's like it seemed as though it was trying to get her attention.
Yeah.
It was so. But getting back to the story,
it looked like it was hugging her.
Yeah.
Oh, you felt like
it was cross around her.
Oh, okay.
It was really strange.
And that noise you heard, they were using an app, what's it called?
Necrophonic or something.
That's an app you can download on your phone, kind of like a spirit box or a portal. And I mean, we don't use any type of app on our phone. I mean,
Yeah, me either. We don't either.
no,
Yeah.
your cell phone is not equipped, doesn't have those sensors and stuff like that that the actual equipment has.
And I don't feel like you can really trust it all that much either.
Yeah. So,
So.
they enjoyed it. I mean, they were that's what it was about.
That's what it was about.
Let them do their thing.
That's all that counts. That's all that counts.
It was kind of odd. They kept getting a name, Ava, and that was the name of the mother-in-law who
she died
in that upstairs where we were.
Oh. All right. Well, there's connection.
Yeah,
I love when things come full circle like that.
There's a few things that came up on it that I was like, made me question, maybe it is working. I mean, but
sure.
You
never know.
Yeah.
True that. If a spirit wants something to work, I suppose it'll make it work, right?
Yeah. But they got excited about it.
That's all that matters. Just give them the experience of what they think. And if they get into this field like we are, and because we love this field so much, and we, if we could get paid like a full-time job with insurance and whatever,
yep.
This is what I would do
for
a living.
I hear you.
Retired.
I hear you.
But,
well, we were talking earlier about that first piece of evidence that got you hooked. We were at that mines that I was telling you about, and I was able to bring the paranormal team in. So I created it because he had asked me to bring my paranormal team and I didn't have one. So I had to throw one together. And that's actually when my paranormal team, the Lady Ghostbusters, was first established. And we've been a team ever since. But we all had our cameras rolling. And the mines are, if you want to get stuff, go to a mine. Oh my God. Amazing stuff. And at this one point, we had the cameras, everybody had their camera rolling. It was taking things from different angles. And at one point, we had this interactive smoky mist that was communicating with us and responding to what it is that we were asking it to do. And as I said, everybody had their cameras on. And after an investigation, everybody sends me what they have because I usually use it from my website, or when I'm writing the chapter, I use the evidence to help me write the story. And so I went through the footage and picked out the one that I thought was the best out of all the footage. And I sent it into Paranormal Caught on Camera, and they liked it so much, they ended up doing a feature on us on one of their shows.
Oh.
So that had me hooked. That investigation had me hooked. From that point on, I was like, okay, we're going to do a lot of this if I can do it. So, I know the feeling of getting hooked.
Yeah, that's one show I do watch. I like to watch people's, because it's not like the other shows where they go in a place and investigate. It's clips. People send in clips of stuff that they've caught.
Yeah,
so, it's interesting.
I don't watch the shows, and the only thing I started watching was the Holzer Files, which
okay, about Hans Holzer.
Yeah, Hans Holzer, which I did like. I have been studying him about his findings and different stuff like that, reading articles he had and whatnot. But I don't watch Paranormal Caught on Camera or whatever it is. But we do work with Brian Cano too. So
that's cool.
I don't I usually don't watch the shows. But we do work with Brian.
That's cool.
Yeah,
now you mentioned the Hinsdale house, which is located on McMahon Road in Hinsdale, New York, has all the elements for a good ghost story: a mysterious history, strange sightings, unexplainable events, and even an exorcism. Photo credit to the Hinsdale House website. Owned by the Dandy family in the 70s, they lived with spirits regularly and even underwent an exorcism. Occupants from that point on never remained in the home for long until Daniel Class purchased it and opened it up to paranormal teams for investigations. Joe had the opportunity to be on one of these investigations in 2019. By the looks of it, it really looks pretty unassuming at first glance, no?
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and tell us about your experience there?
Well, for one, Ed and Lorraine Warren, they actually did 2 exorcisms in that house back in the 70s, I want to say. And Daniel Cleese, he purchased the Hinsdale house. And me and him started talking. We were at a Paracon, and me and him talked, and we set it up where we actually got to go out to out there and investigate the Hinsdale house. And we went out there, and as I was wheeling the stuff into the house, I was hearing children talking upstairs in the bedrooms. And I couldn't understand what they were saying, but I was trying to be as quiet as possible because I wanted it to keep going. So maybe I could catch something. Maybe I could catch a word or something, because it's just gibberish. That's all it was. It was just gibberish. And of course, my team comes in after me, and then they ruin the whole thing because they're loud. But we got some strange EVPs that night. A little bit of SLS footage upstairs in the parents' bedroom. I was sitting there with my camera, and I took 4 pictures. All in a row. You can see this face. It looks like a little girl. And I took 4 pictures. You can actually see this face leaving as I took these pictures.
Those disembodied voices, that they seem to always just be far enough away for you to not be able to make out what it is they're saying, but you know that there's actually this conversation going on, and you just can never make it out. But what's the story with the exorcisms? I mean, do you think it was spirits in that home that possessed the people that had to be exorcised, or I don't know the story behind that?
Yeah, I know. I'm not really sure. I'm not. I heard the house, there was some sort of issues with the house. So
the property maybe?
The property. They plan to see some mystical figure or something out in these woods, or I forget what they call it now, but they say they caught this animal type, elemental type kind of being out in the woods, and
crypto of some sort, cryptid.
Yeah, but I believe it's the whole property, the whole land. You got a pond there. You got a bunch of land around there. So who really knows?
Water.
Yes.
Yeah.
So who really knows why it was so haunted? I don't know, but I know Ed and Lorraine Warren was there twice, exercising the house. So
yeah, you look from the outside and you're like, that doesn't look that bad. I mean, if I were to look at one of the others that we've shared photos with already tonight, that was old and they have that history, and you'd be like, oh my God, that's got to be haunted, But you look at this Hinsdale house, and it really doesn't look like much of anything.
It just looks right out of the house.
I mean, I'm the first one to say, I know the property can be haunted, but it's definitely something that would dupe the average Joe, because you're thinking you're just going into this house and it's got all this stuff that's gone on in the past, including 2 exorcisms, Well, we have a clip you shared with us with the Hinsdale house evidence pictures. Chris, can you run that footage for us? Pictures
of the face. Yeah.
What's happening? All right, so that doll.
It was next to the doll, to the
left.
To the left, and it was hard to send there because that's all I had was the video to send that he made.
Right.
I should have thought about that.
But yeah, each picture, the face gets less and less.
I could send you those. I got them.
Oh, as you're taking the pictures.
Yes.
Well, you have it on a YouTube channel, don't you?
Yeah.
So what's the YouTube channel so that the viewers can go to it after we're finished and they can go and look to watch the footage that you have?
So YouTube is just
Newark Paranormal Society on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then they can just go there and they can see all your stuff.
Yeah.
And be able to actually listen and watch. As I understand it, you do a lot of investigations in private residences as well, hence the location privacy aspect of our discussion. One investigation you did in Lancaster produced some pretty cool orb footage. I know there's always a huge debate and division over what's an orb and what's not. My own team suffers from the same debate at times. Want to tell us the story behind this investigation?
So the woman that lives there, she got a hold of us. I actually know one of her friends, and because she had a 2-year-old daughter, and her daughter kept saying, there's people behind her bed or under her bed talking. I mean, you imagine a 2-year-old.
Oh my gosh, that's creepy. I had a ghost in my house as a kid, and it scares the shit out of you. I can't imagine what that poor kid was probably terrified.
She would actually talk to it, and like she would hear her talking, and her and her husband would be. One time she said they were sitting at the table, and their daughter was down in the basement in the playroom, and they knew she was down there. Well, all of a sudden they heard something run by the living room and go into her bedroom. And they thought it was her. So she gets up and goes in there to see what she's doing. Well, she's not in there. She's still in the basement. And it doesn't seem to bother them. They just kind of wanted verification that they weren't crazy.
Right.
So the video I sent you is we had a camera set up pointing towards the little girl's bed.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not big on orbs either, but this one, I mean, it was different.
I love a good orb. I really do. In fact, most of the time, I'll take whatever something appears to be an orb and I'll send it to people in the industry that I know, and I'll ask them their opinion on it.
Yeah.
To see if I align with their opinion. Yeah. Because there are some of the people that have been in my group that are always immediately saying, no, it's not an orb. And I'll be like, I don't know about that. You know, so I'll end up sending it on to somebody else just to get their opinion of it. So.
Yeah. I mean, it changed directions. You'll see in the video, it changed directions like 3 times. And then actually at the end of the video, it actually splits into like 2 as it's drifting.
Okay.
So,
and that's the footage that you sent to me, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. You want to run that, Chris? Can you show the viewers the footage? The home in Lancaster, Ohio.
Yeah, I'm getting it. Sorry. My computer's slow at the moment, so. But I do have it.
And we caught some good EVPs there also.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't send them all to you. We'd be here all night going through it.
Well, we can always go to YouTube and watch. But what were some of them?
Facebook, our Facebook page. We have a lot of them on there.
Oh, you do have them there too. Great.
We had, I think, another investigator that was there was in their garage, and he didn't hear it at the time. He actually listens live, does the live EVPs. But we went back through and listened, and you can actually hear a little girl like,
"Help me!"
Yell say "Help me!"
Oh, really? Oh, that's so sad.
This is like
what, 2 in the morning?
Yeah, like 2 in the morning. It was crazy.
That really bothers me when it's kids that are asking for help. That really, really bothers me because a lot of the times
if it's a kid.
Yeah, they don't even know they're dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we thought we had some REM pod action too,
I think he's got the footage coming up. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, here.
Oh, now these are the pictures. That's Skill House, right?
Yeah, that's the face.
That's the face. I can see the face. Yeah, I could see the face.
Yeah, I sent you 4 pictures. You can actually see that face leave.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you could see the shaded part under the dark circles under the eye. You could see the nose. That's cool.
And
so
the hair.
Yeah.
And now the other pictures, you say it fades away in the other pictures.
Yeah, you can actually see it in 4 pictures fade away. Oh, wrong picture.
There we go.
So if you look at it, you could actually see the full face, and then after 4 pictures, you can't see it no more.
And that's to the left of the doll.
Left of the doll, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Because I was like, well, maybe it's a doll. So we went there and looked. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And then I looked at the pictures after I took 4 continuous pictures, and you could actually see this face just dissipating.
Well, that first one was a great catch of that face. That was just amazing.
Sure. Yeah.
And now you're going to run the orb footage from the home in Lancaster, right, Chris?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I have that home. No, I have it.
Yep.
Sorry, guys.
Oh,
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Yeah, we are.
But in the video on the bed, you'll see like a box. It's actually a music box that we made. It's just a Doppler motion sensor.
Was that going to be like a trigger? Were you trying to use it as a trigger? Is that what you were doing?
Yeah, and that's what we had it going off. Between it and the REM pod was in another room, out just the living room, just outside the bedroom. And I remember there was a point at the night that the music box would go off, then all of a sudden the REM pod, it would stop, and the REM pod would go off, and then it would stop, and then the music box would start again. Like it was running back and forth from each thing.
And do you think it was the spirit that was doing that was messing with it, right?
I mean, I
think that in that room itself, because we investigated the whole house, I think that room by itself, the child's room, was the most active place in the house. Yeah.
And who knows why.
I don't.
Okay, let's see if it comes up now.
It's coming up.
Okay. Now, is this a bed, like a 4-poster bed?
Yeah, it's a kid's, like a toddler bed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I saw that.
It was like a. Yeah,
there it goes.
It comes.
Yeah.
In,
oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it comes in from the right.
Mm-hmm.
And goes across the bed and then goes down, and then comes back up. And
look at that. Yeah, that's cool.
Before it goes off to the left, it actually splits. You can see it split into 2. It's very strange. I mean, it was a strange orb.
And I'm sure you went through the whole debunking, make sure it wasn't any kind of light or anything that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the last one. It's like, oh, what do you think about this? You know, he'll send me videos like, well, what do you think about this? And it'd be like a orb thing or something like that. Like dust. Yeah. But there's sometimes he'll send something and I'll be like, hey, don't delete that, man. That might be something.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, that was good. I like that one. Now, Madison Seminary, located in Madison, Ohio, was an investigation that both you guys went on. Picture credit to the Madison Seminary website. Look at that building. Currently, it's privately owned, but at one point in time, it functioned as a school, hospital, and housing for families of those killed in the American Civil War. It's considered to be one of the most haunted places in Ohio. In fact, in one of the initial ads placed by the city when it was being sold, it read, "May be haunted." Definitely pays tribute to the Full Disclosure Act. Some well-known haunts from there are ghost hunters experiencing mysterious wounds, and then multiple encounters with a child ghost named Stephen who lived there with his mom after the Civil War, and Elizabeth Stiles, who was a spy for the North who died there in 1898. Bill, you mentioned you got your shirt pulled on this one, right?
Yeah, that was the first time I've actually had something happen to me, other than just, EVPs or
Right.
And I mean it startled me.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I tried to debunk it. My back was to an open door that led out to a hallway, so there wasn't anything behind me, and it's just like it grabbed, like I could feel it, like pinch my shirt and pull it out and like snap it, just and of course I spun right around and there's nothing there, but what was strange about it, we were there helping one of our friends. They were trying to do we were filming for like a documentary they were going to do, and the girl that they had a camera. It actually was messing with her. Something was messing with, like touching her leg, pulling on her shorts or her hair or something like that. And Joe, actually, he was in another room that was connected to that room, and he told her to go over there by him because it kept messing with her.
I switched her spots.
Yeah,
I switched her spots.
Okay.
Something grabbed her.
Yeah,
and so I told her to come over where I was standing at, and I would go over where she's at.
Yeah.
So, because she never investigated ever. She's never done this before. So it kind of freaked her out.
Yeah.
Oh, bad.
Yeah. And so I switched her spots, and I was standing there for a minute. So I went in the other room, and I sat there in this chair, and they were asking questions in the other room. I wanted to see in the room that it was connected towards with the other room to see if something would actually happen. And sure enough, I literally seen something walk across the room and go into that room, and it accosted Bill.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they say spirits connect with the ones that they want to connect with, so they were trying to get your attention for sure.
Tried to get it to do it again, and it didn't. So,
Yeah.
Even though it scared me at first, I was like, "Hey, can you do that again?"
Yeah, and it didn't though, right? It was just that once.
Just that one time.
It only takes once to convince you.
Yeah, and we got some really good EVPs there. We heard
two women talking.
I think there was more. It was.
There could have been.
We were all in a like a dining room area, and you could hear a conversation coming from down the hall.
It was right behind me.
Yeah, and we were the only ones there.
Those disembodied voices again, man.
Nobody was talking at the time, and you can hear women talking right behind me in the hallway.
Yeah, and we were in the women's.
Yeah, we were in the women's part of the seminary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so
because that side
I was like, who's talking?
Yeah, that side of the seminary.
Civil War soldier.
That's where they would send the wives of soldiers if their husbands died, or because I think back.
Okay.
Yeah.
They couldn't own land
or they'd go off to war, and the women would go and live there and wait for their husbands to come back.
Yeah.
And of course, sometimes some of them didn't, and then you have, that's how it was.
Yeah, and I don't think I sent, because it was a longer video and I couldn't get it to trimmed down. But there was a part where we're in that same room, and you just hear a scream, a woman's scream, and it sounded like it was off in the distance, but who knows? But in that room, the story was that the woman that was in that room was shot.
Oh.
They think she was murdered, or well, I think they say she
Was
committed
who? Was who?
It was
okay.
Susan, Mary. Well, they say her husband killed her.
Her husband killed her.
Her husband.
Well, I think he tried to say she committed suicide.
It's but it's folklore. It's pretty much like this actually happened, but in time something else happens. You know what I mean? So it's
the story changes.
Yeah, the story changes like 100 times.
Yeah.
So who really knows what actually happened? But yeah.
Yeah, it's a.
But that lady was screaming. It might have been like the residual energy from.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
The event, the actual event.
Yeah.
Wow, that's sad.
I caught on my night vision camera. I actually caught. We were in one of the bathrooms where
a woman died.
A woman died in the bathtub. And I actually caught. It wasn't an orb. It was like rectangle.
It was something manifesting coming out of the wall.
It came out of the wall and then went off to the right.
It came out of the wall, and then it looked like it was walking along the bathtub.
Yeah.
An actual figure, or was it a shadow?
It was manifesting at the time. It was
just a shape, like really. It didn't look like anything. It was just like
It was.
I tried to send the video, but it wouldn't send. So.
At first, it comes out of the wall, and then you can actually. It starts to manifest into something bigger, walking down the bathtub, and it looks like something was walking.
Huh.
And he sent it to me at first, and I told him, I said, it's dust. And then I looked at it again. Hey, save that video.
Well, I think
come on, don't be so quick to say that all the time.
Oh, he is. He doesn't.
I don't like crappy evidence.
Yeah. Well, you looked at it on your phone at first, and then when you blew it up on your computer, that's
you could tell that it was actually somebody. Newark Paranormal Society YouTube. They can watch it on there. The long version. Well, you guys did an investigation in a Mansfield, Ohio residence. How did that investigation come about in the first place?
I just tried to send that video to you. I'll see. The first time it didn't work, but
okay.
The Mansfield, she messaged you.
Yeah, she messaged
emailed us, but they had, they just had something going on in their house. They wanted
and recruited you to come and see if you could figure it out.
What it was, and if they had anything to worry about, and because I guess the husband was, getting his feet grabbed. He'd be sitting in the recliner or something, and something would grab his feet. And they actually didn't sleep in their bedroom upstairs because of all the activity up there.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they slept downstairs. So they actually used.
Was it an older home or newer home on the property?
It was about.
And what did it end up?
It was an old.
Oh really? And what did it end up being? What did it turn out to be?
They were playing with a Ouija board in that house, dude.
Somebody was playing
with that's bad. Juju.
Good.
We had a medium with us.
She's a fraud. I still say she's a fraud.
But they were there. We're kind of testing them out, and which we caught SLS video, and you saw it was actually it was like a fight between
that was
like she claimed she had a guardian, okay, and that protected her from whatever. And the two figures, you could see her standing there, and then there was something in front of her, and it was actually pushing the other figure away from her.
Oh wow!
And I wish I could have got that to send to you because it's. I mean, we laughed.
Is that what you just tried to send me just now,
Well,
or
that
was
the bathtub from Madison?
the bathtub? Because I know that you did send me something from the Mansfield home
Yes,
investigation that we have some footage.
The first time
So
I caught something. I saw something actually move on its own.
That's the one you sent us.
Yes, and we tried to.
Oh, here it goes.
Yeah.
Here we go. Movement on camera.
Yeah, my little short video.
This is the saddest pitch ever.
Maybe.
There
Oh,
it
here we
is.
go.
There it is.
What was that? That box of cheeses just.
Let's see if
It was dragging.
yeah, the video.
Yeah, the video is dragging.
Dragging a little bit. That's
Kind of lagging, yeah.
Yeah.
There you see it. Yeah, yeah. It's there's a
What was
box
that?
of
That
cheese
box of cheeses just.
and we walked in the room and was kind of just panning around, and you can see it tip, and you can actually hear it hit something next to it, whatever was sitting next to it.
But nobody caught it at the time. It wasn't until later when you went back.
Oh, no, he's seen it.
We
He's
saw
seen
it. I didn't.
You saw it.
Did see it.
I didn't know I caught it on camera
Okay.
until I went back and looked at it because I was just kind of.
What was that?
I didn't
That
know.
box of cheeses just.
Because we noticed it and we tried to get it to do it again. Like we jumped up and down on the floor. We shook we did everything we could do to see if we could get that to tip again. But I mean, it literally just like tipped and rocked back and forth.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was pretty interesting. But
yeah, you could hear the cardboard
yeah.
going back and forth.
And we know it takes a lot of energy for them to do something like that, even if it's, it's quick and it happens.
And they're still, I talked to them not too long ago. I mean, they're still having some issues. It never did go away. Because we try to find, because we don't know how to clear a home or, make them good, pass on, whatever. But we do know people that do.
Right. I have a member on my team that cleans and clears houses.
And
you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a couple from a different team from
This is the saddest pitch ever.
That's also in Ohio that we have used before. But I mean,
I used to have a medium that used to run with us back in the day. She ended up moving down to Florida. Lucky her. But she moved down to Florida and kind of got out of the whole deal, whatever. And it's very hard to find a medium to work with you. Someone that's credible, somebody that could actually do this.
Well, Newark Society is looking for a medium. So if there's anybody that's out there listening and watching right now, get in touch with them. Go to their Facebook page and message them and tell them, here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know. It might warrant somebody for you.
Because we don't like to go in a home and stir things up and then leave.
Sure.
Or we try to help them. Like we have a possible case coming up. The guy thinks he messaged us last weekend and thinks there's something demonic in their house. It's.
But that's like a rare. Yeah. But that's like a rarity though. It's not every day that you're going to come across something with evil spirits in it. I mean, it's really not. It's I've only came across that once, maybe twice. That woman's house in Newark, she had some terrible crap in her house. That was some bad shit. But the one in Indiana,
yes,
I'm not really sure what she had in her house. So
yeah, which I sent you EVP.
Yeah. Yeah. Bill tells me, Joe, that you've had a great story to share from a tire shop in Mount Gilead that you instigated.
A what?
What happened there?
The tire shop.
A tire shop in Mount Gilead?
Great story. I mean, it's just.
Well, we're investigating. I met the owner of the tire shop, DC Tire Shop. His name is Dave. So we were going to the Gill House one night, and we were at Wendy's, and he's like, "Hey, my garage is haunted." I'm like, "Okay." I'm thinking like a a home garage, like okay, what? And then he's like, I own a tire shop in Mount Gilead. I was like, oh. So we set it up to go out there, and we went out there. Actually, everybody was downstairs in the basement, and I was upstairs. So I had the bathroom door closed. Claims were that the bathroom door would open on its own. So we had the bathroom door shut with the light on. And I'm standing at the monitor. I had to go out to the bay of the garage to get something. So I come walking out to the bay of the garage, and you can hear, like, you know how, like, when a door's shut and you go to open it, it sounds like paint sticking to each other, and you can hear the ripping of the paint. Mm-hmm. That's what it sounded like. And I turn around, and you can see the door just get thrown open.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay. So I went back, and I looked inside, and I shut that door, and that door did not open again at all that night. We tried to debunk this, what had happened on camera, for an hour and a half. We couldn't debunk it.
Then you couldn't, but wow, that's cool.
No, we could not debunk it. We tried everything. So I'm standing outside, and and a cop comes rolling up, and he's like, "What are you doing out here?" I said, "I'm investigating a tire shop." He's like, "For what?" I said, I'm a paranormal investigator. I said, "You want to see what I got?" He's like, "Sure." So we start walking in. I walk in. He walks in behind me. Something from the back room got thrown and hit metal to metal. And something got thrown at us. And so he was like, "Who's back there?" I say, "I promise, man, there ain't nobody back there." I'm thinking the worst possible thing, okay? First I get thrown at me, okay, or at him, and now I might go to jail. So the camera
did he get scared?
Yeah, let's put it that way. So I showed him the camera footage of the door opening on its own, and he was like, I turned around, he was at his car. I was like, "Hey, where you going?" He was like, I chase down humans. I don't chase ghosts down. And I told him, I said, "Wait," I said, "Come back. We need you now." I was going to use him as bait.
Yeah, if he was getting stuff to happen, he was making shit happen.
Right. So, doing research on the place, apparently the former owner that died quite a few years back, his wife ran off with a cop.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So he might be there, and he didn't like the cop.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great story.
Yeah,
that's a great story. And now, Joe, what's this work that you do with Nephilim mounds? As I understand it, they're mysterious beings or people in the Hebrew Bible who are called giants.
Sure. Well,
Tell me about that.
Yeah, we got the mounds all over Newark, Ohio. Basically, it goes all the way down south. It goes as far as I really can't remember now, but it goes really far down south. Maybe Tennessee, maybe Virginia. It's all around the world. So I got a message from a producer from LA Marzulli. He deals with the Sci-Fi Channel, History Channel, Discovery Channel. He's kind of like one of those big guys. And he asked me, hey, could you go out and get some evidence to see? I don't know who this guy is, but I said, sure. So we went out and got different temperature changes and all kinds of different other things. And we sent it to him, and he's like, I'm flying out there tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
I was like, okay. So we met him at a hotel out here in Newark. And he said he really liked the evidence we caught, different things like that. And he's like, are you ready to document this? And I'm like, sure. I said, what do you want me to sign? I didn't figure I'd be in a documentary. He's like, no. We're going to film you. Oh,
that's cool.
Okay. So he filmed me and a former investigator for 4 days. We went around to the mounds, and there's something really mystical about those places. I mean, people drive past them like nothing, like, you know, they're there. So what? I don't care, you know. But people have had a I don't want to say issues, but had evidence. Like they'll be driving down past the mounds and the radio will come on. Or
strange things that would happen when you're in your vehicle.
Yeah, strange things. And well, he believes that giants roamed the earth at one time, and you know, fallen angels and stuff like that. And the giants used to roam the earth, and he believes that's what is possibly there. So he wants to try to make the mounds one of the eighth wonders of the world.
Really?
So we went out and did some investigating, and then we were on one of the mounds, and I had my SLS camera, and the former investigator was with me. I shot my SLS camera at her, and there was it looked like a giant. It had to be 9 foot, 10 foot tall. It was like picking at her head.
Wow.
And so I was like, said, hey, LA, come over here, take a look at this. He brought his camera over, and he was like, oh my God. And she was like, what? I said, it's none of your business right now. Just stand there.
Just be calm.
Right. So he filmed it, and he's like, that's amazing. It looked like something that was 9, 10 foot tall on a walking path, just like.
So he actually got it on. He actually got it on camera.
Yeah, he got it on camera.
That's cool.
And in the same walking path, whatever, over our Obelisk 5, it said unholy, and we let him know about it. And he said, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know what this guy. I ain't never seen anything like this. But we were standing in this walking trail, and he was like, I'm going to say a prayer, because he's like he's a big Christian. He's very religious. And he said a prayer. When he was saying a prayer, it's like you didn't hear any birds. It was like, this is the middle of summer, and I was like, wait, where's all the birds?
Everything just stopped. The crickets, the birds, everything.
Everything stopped. And I'm just standing there like, are you kidding me? And then after he was done saying what he had to say, over my Obelisk 5, it said holy. I'm like, are you kidding me?
See, those are not coincidences, though. When words like that pop up, you know it has to do with what's going on, because It's not just some random word. It's something that actually fits in sequence with what's going on.
Yeah, you see like old like photos back from the old days from Civil War time and stuff that used to be out here in Newark, Ohio and stuff like that. And you still see the mound. So it's not like it's brand new. It's not like it's a new thing. It's been around for who knows how long. So, but he's coming back out in August, and he messaged me and said, "Listen," he said, He's like, "I'm doing another documentary out there." He's like, "I need you in my documentary again." Okay,
good. That's great.
In August, and
tell him to get you a copy of the first one. You still
I haven't even seen the first one I was in.
Oh, yeah, you got to get that. That's a memory for sure.
So,
I mean, how many opportunities like that come in a lifetime? You know what I mean?
I agree. I mean, I was on the news out here one time over to Celia Rose house. Guy from USA Today wanted to do a thing on most haunted places in Ohio. And so took him to the Celia Rose house. And by the time he left the house, he was scared to death. Yeah. His camera just shut down on him, everything. He had to use a phone. So I turned around and told him, I said, "That's what you get for being scared." That's what I told him. And so
good for you. Well, those are exciting opportunities. That's really exciting.
Right. And apparently I ended up on the news that night, and I didn't even, they never told me. I never seen that either.
You didn't even know it.
No, I didn't even know it. No. Yeah, it is what it is.
Those things just happen to him. I don't understand it. He gets just like
those opportunities.
The thing with Brian Cano. I mean, that just kind of fell in our lap, and it just stuff like that's always happening too.
Well, that's a lot of that's a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of time in a car, a lot of you know, in cold attics and cold basements, and you know, that's what it's all about. Work. You have to put work in to have people say, "Hey, who's this person?" I mean, it's not like I went out trying to look for fame or fortune or anybody know who I am. It's like I fell in love with this field. That's why I did what I did. And if people know who I am, cool. If they don't, they don't. It's not, you know, it's about the field I'm in. So.
Well, you guys did an investigation in Newark, Ohio, in a residence where you actually got a demon voice on audio. That would freak me out. What was with that?
I wasn't there for that one either.
So I went in for talk to this woman that lived there by herself with her cat or dog or something. I don't know what it was, but we did a pre-investigation, and I had a recorder running. So as me and her were talking to each other, something in the background said, "They're coming. Yes, they are." I'm like, what was that? So I had no idea what it was. She believed her mother lived there or was still there. And I'm like, sorry, I have issues. It's like, if you're going to tell me your mother's there, I'm not going to believe it until I actually have your mother talk to me over a digital voice recorder. Sorry. So we went back into the house a week later, something, and I dropped the recorder in the kitchen. There was one in the bathroom and there was one in a bedroom next to the kitchen. And I had them all running. Minute after I dropped that recorder and left, I tagged it, left the room, went back out to the living room. The most terrifying voice I've ever heard came over the recorder, which I caught on 3 different recorders.
You brought the audio with you today. Would you like us to just have them listen to it right now?
Good.
Yeah, tell us what you think it is.
Okay. Ooh. Well, I definitely heard that. I don't know what it was trying to say, but it was definitely freaky, man.
Yeah.
Play it again, Chris.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Gotta go back.
And you can hear that him and whoever talking in the background.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in a different room.
Yeah. So as the night went on, it started. I was 5. I was running. It started spitting words out like quilt and different things like that. And I started asking questions. So, did your mother quilt? Yes. Different things that related to her. So I'm thinking, maybe her mom is here. I don't know. So through the night, things started getting weird. Like stuff over the spirit box was just nasty. I mean, just words that you're just like, what?
Yeah.
It got bad.
This is not right. Something's not right here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So plus she had bruises all over her body. She showed me pictures.
Really?
Of bruises on her stomach, her back, and her legs.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
Yeah. And so you look in the bedroom, and I said, apparently you don't sleep in the bedroom, because she had clothes piled on her bed almost to the ceiling. And she's like, no. She's like, I sleep out on a couch. And I was like, okay. You would think, okay, your mother's not going to do that to you, for one. And so
you would know if something's good or if it's bad. I mean, even if you get it on an EVP and the person's able to listen to it, they can recognize the voice of their deceased loved one. I mean, that they sound the same in death as they do in life, but that shit didn't sound human at all.
No. But so we asked her, so you've been playing with Ouija boards or whatever. She's like, nope, never touched it, whatever. So what did she do? She shows one of my guys some Ouija board stuff and whatever else. She got caught up into something she couldn't get out of, I think. So.
And she told you she wasn't messing with anything.
Sure. They're gonna lie. They're gonna lie to you. But so I went home and started listening to evidence. And then what I heard, it tried to disguise itself twice. It tried to disguise itself as her mother. Then it tried to disguise itself as a little kid.
Which usually they do, the little kid thing.
So
yeah.
Listening to the voice, I was like, it's a Latin language. What it says, I have no clue. I heard it was.
Oh, okay.
I was told it's a Latin language. So I listened to the rest of it, and I'm like, that's not her mother. In the same voice in her bedroom, you could literally hear this voice say, I hate you.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was in her bedroom. So
yeah, I wouldn't sleep in there either.
Creepy.
But so we got a hold of demonologist. Demonologist said that's not human. It was never. He's like, you need to go back in that house to see if this was ever human. You have to ask questions like, what color is the grass? What color is the sky? What does?
Yeah.
So what does this taste like? What I can't remember the questions they had me go in there and ask, but I went in there for about 5 hours and I couldn't draw it out. She ended up moving up. She left and I haven't heard from her since.
No, I feel bad for the person that moved in there next.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know. I don't even know if a house cleanser could rid whatever it was. I think it takes an actual exorcism for something like that.
Yeah. So that one was really crazy, and luckily everybody came out of it unscathed. Nothing followed anybody home, whatever.
Thank God.
Yeah. The second time we absolutely got no responses whatsoever. So
speaking of following home, do you do anything to protect yourselves? Like I have my protective bracelets that I faithfully wear day in and day out because I don't want to bring anything else home with me. It's happened to me in the past already, and I was not happy about it. And then I have my Kinseed pendant, and then whenever I go into an investigation, I put the protective oils on, and you say the prayer before you enter, and tell them they can't come home with you before you leave. So that's my little thing of ritual. What about you?
Typically, that's about all I do is just tell it, it can't come home with me. Don't follow me home. And I've never had. Well, my wife will claim something has followed me home, still in our house. But as far as I know, I've never had anything really.
We've had experiences of sleep paralysis. My daughters and I, when I brought something home, and sleep paralysis is not fun at all. It's scary as shit. I mean, it really is scary. You wake up and you can't move, and you know that and it's in your head, and you're trying to scream and you can't talk, and it's like, oh my God. So
sure.
The next day I found myself with the sage going all over the house and the salt on the outside. But I said, I'm not going to let this happen again. So ever since then, I've taken the precautions, and thank God I haven't brought anything home with me. But it's not fun. So if your wife said she's got something there, believe her, because
she did. Crystals.
I didn't
research.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah. Yeah.
So, which I haven't been anywhere really to take them with me yet, but she wants me to take them next time we go.
Yeah, like the bracelet that I wear, it's a unisex bracelet, and it's good for a guy or a girl, and you just wear it, and you could just wear it when you go on an investigation. I wear mine all the time, day in and day out, because of the medical help it offers as well. But it's nice to know that you have that extra protection when you're going into an investigation, just to be on the safe side.
And I'm not. Like I said, I've only been on the team 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
A little over 2 years.
You might be right. About 2 years.
And so I'm not that familiar with that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get more educated with it. There's a couple people from other groups that I talk to that know about that stuff, and how to protect yourself, and so they've given me some pointers.
Does your wife know about sage and being able to sage the house at all? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's good. That's a start.
Things mixed reviews with sage. I've had some mediums say it's not a good thing. It can actually
or it don't work.
Anger somebody, whatever's there, it doesn't work.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, so it's
I've had stuff.
Well,
he's had stuff all over.
Well, I would figure. They seem to follow you.
They do.
That's when he just calls the medium that used to be on his team and say, "Hey, get rid of it." So
she could do stuff remotely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's mine too. The girl that's on my team too. Yeah, she does a lot of remote work. Yeah, she does that a lot too. Now, the Poasttown Elementary School in Middletown, Ohio, that's the abandoned elementary school believed to have paranormal activity related to a tragic train crash. Picture credit to the Poasttown Elementary's website. Can either of you guys fill us in on what happened with that train wreck and why it's so significant to the school?
It actually happened twice on like 100 years or so many years later. It happened on the same day, on July 4th, twice.
Oh, really?
A mile away. If you're standing in the school, you can actually hear the train going by all night long.
Yeah.
All night long, you can hear the train. That's where the train wreck actually happened. Is it why? Is it why that school is haunted? I don't know. But
So are you saying that the school is actually built on the site
No.
of the train wreck?
no,
No?
okay. Supposedly, this is how the story goes. It's a story that the train ended up wrecking on the tracks, and they took the people that either were dying or were severely injured, took them on that property where the school is built.
So it wasn't a school at that
It
time.
wasn't because it was built in 1937, and so the first train wreck was in 1900.
It was early 1900s, yeah.
early. Then, like 10 years later or something, on the same day, on July 4th, it happened again.
That's crazy.
The same day.
Wow.
So,
And what was it, a malfunction, or was there a storm that came in,
Do
or
not
what
know.
was it?
Do
I
not
don't think
know.
anybody knows.
But I know a lot of people ended up getting hurt and whatever. And they supposedly they took the people to that property for like a mass unit. Yeah, like a mass unit.
Yeah. Makeshift
So-
hospital.
Sure. So in 1937, yeah, that's about right. 37. They built a school there. So a little girl, Sarah fell off the second floor, landed on the bottom of the
Fell down the staircase or the
staircase.
Yeah.
Just came all the way down. And she didn't die there. She died at home.
No, I think she died at the hospital.
At the hospital. Yeah. So she didn't die there, but you could hear little kids in the hallway. Like the first time I went, I literally heard audibly somebody, like a child, screaming at me down the hallway, like 3 times. It was the strangest damn thing ever. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So,
yeah, there's that place never disappoints if you go there. You always see something. I mean,
but yeah. So we got the doll room. The doll room. What I heard, I'm not sure if this is true or not. He has 2 classrooms full of dolls. This man lives in this school with his wife. So supposedly these dolls in this room, in these 2 rooms, are from deceased people. Yes.
Okay.
Or like a team goes in and the homeowners think the doll is possessed or whatever's there is coming from the doll. So they take the doll out and they take it over to Post Town and put it in the doll room.
Yeah.
They donate, donate it to and there's different. I mean, there's
he's like
hundreds of dolls in that room.
Oh my God. It's all around the school.
Yeah.
If you look on shelves going around the school, you'll see a doll sitting there. Just random doll.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. That's creepy.
Attached, if those dolls have attachments, I mean that could, that's
yeah.
Fueling the activity there too. So
I'm sure.
But yeah.
I wonder what prompted him to fill the room up with dolls.
People would bring him dolls, and he's like, "Go ahead, put it in the doll room." Yeah. He don't care. I mean, Daryl Wisman, he's the one that runs the place. He's the one that lives there.
He went to school there.
He went to school there as a child. He's like in his 70s now. He loves that school. And I'm sure he'll end up dying in that school because he put his heart and his soul in this school, and he's like the greatest guy you ever want to meet. He's a pretty amazing guy. He helps people that are homeless or there's floods
because it floods down there a lot.
Different stuff like that.
he just did one. There was a power outage.
And
he opened the school.
He'll open the school up. It's like, hey, it's like if you need a place to go to, come here.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So he has like the biggest heart in the world. Just don't screw him over, that's. But
sounds like a fun investigation, though.
Oh, the place is amazing.
There. Yeah,
especially Miss Johnson's room.
Yeah.
But
what about that room?
Miss Johnson's room is a special. It's that second floor. You go in the doll room, you get some good stuff or whatever. You go to Miss Johnson's room, it's like a different level. That's all the way on this other side of the school, down the hall, the very last classroom. I don't know why, but the last time I was in there, I seen something creeping in a hallway. I said, "Come on in." I mean, it's like, "Come on in." That's like, and it actually came in, and I actually got some responses.
Wow.
You'll hear banging from
banging,
other
lockers
classrooms.
banging. Yeah, lockers banging.
Yeah. You'll go down there, and as soon as you get to the doorway, it stops.
And
it's. I was there
EVPs, all kinds of crap.
Last year, setting up cameras, and I had something whistling at me.
Yeah,
from one of the classrooms.
Well, we were sitting in that one room. You heard that woman out in the hallway, and it was just me, you, and there's two girls sitting in that room.
Yeah, you heard a woman talking out in the hallway.
There was nobody there.
Former teacher. She didn't want to leave school.
I don't know if you'd want to stay there, stay after school, but
yeah, exactly. Now, the Waterloo, Indiana residence with the EVP evidence, you said something bad was in that house.
Yeah, I've had 3 different mediums look at some of the evidence that we caught there. And all 3 of them said it's some type of Indian,
elemental,
Native American.
Native American, yeah.
Elemental.
Is that on the stuff? Is that on the stuff that you sent us that we can hear?
Well,
because you said there's like 4 different pieces of evidence from that investigation,
right? And it's the same voice. In all.
Really, it's the same in all of them.
And it doesn't sound as creepy as the one from the house in Newark, but it's close. It's pretty close. But the woman there got a hold of us, and it's a 4-hour drive from here to go there.
It's
but
boy's bedroom.
Because she had little kids, and something was terrorizing her kids. They would wake up saying, the one kid. And she said, it was not like him at all. He would talk about seeing a hand come through the wall and
oh boy.
And then her younger kid, the younger boy, I believe he was too young to really know what was going on, but he would start kind of explaining the same type of experiences that the older boy did. And we still need to get back there because they're still having issues.
So they had you come there so you could try and figure out what it is and maybe try and resolve the issues with them. Is that what?
Yes, she kind of wanted verification because her husband thought she was crazy. It was all in her head, and she wasn't really sure. And she's seen things like a box got thrown or something, and little things like that. But it was mostly the kids were saying things that they were seeing. So she didn't know if it was just the kids, being kids, imagination, whatever. And
kids are usually receptive to this stuff. Yeah. They're
absolutely.
So we get there, and we couldn't get it to do anything for us.
Well, I got a little bit of EVP. I got a little bit of EVP in one of the kids' bedroom.
And that first EVP she heard, I don't even remember what it said. Like hello.
Okay, it wasn't anything
anything bad.
malevolent. It wasn't anything malevolent.
No.
Yeah, he's putting up the you better check the closet one.
The
Is
closet was that's where a lot of the stuff happened, was in the boys' room. The closet was active.
I can't hear anything.
I can't either.
Oh,
there it is.
There you go.
They don't need to deal with this kind of stress, anxiety.
And it's talking
It's
over her.
me.
We actually sent her in the room.
They don't need to deal with this kind of stress, anxiety.
I mean, that's what we think it says.
It's me.
Yeah.
But
so she's speaking.
Yeah, we sent her in the room with a recorder because we couldn't get anything out of it. And she's the one that caught all the EVPs I sent you. But the one that he caught when we first got there, she heard that, and it took us an hour and a half to calm her down. I mean, she was having a full-blown panic attack.
Well, it came to the point where me and her are arguing.
Yeah.
Like, listen, we're here to help you out. Nobody else can help you out except for us right now.
Well,
so I mean, it was
and because she was getting defensive towards it, because
Well, that's not going to help the situation.
Because it was going towards, she didn't want to hurt, messing with her kids, which I understand, but you can't say you're gonna kill it, for messing with your kids.
Yeah.
Like her husband, by the time we left that night, her husband was apologizing to her because he heard all that.
He finally believed her.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I first walked into the house, okay, it's like I've been doing this. I've been to so many places. I've been doing this for so long. The first thing I noticed when I walked in the house, because I always check out the people that live there. The first thing I noticed was seeing her standing over a can of beer and a bottle of wine sitting on the counter. Depression, anxiety, fearfulness. And I'm like, oh, okay. I see what could be like the
going on over here.
The fire starter of the whole thing. And I kind of figured that is where whatever was there was feeding off of her. And then so it started feeding off of the most important things in her life, which would be her children.
Her children. Chris, you want to run the second EVP thingy we have on that? No, that's not it. Not woof woof.
Yeah. I'm trying to find it. I think I do have it.
It says another EVP from the Indiana boys' room.
Yeah, I think I have it. Hold on.
And we caught a couple SLS hits on there. I mean,
we did.
Yeah.
In the boys'
room.
That's where it was mostly
at the closet, coming out of the closet.
Well, it was the boys' bedroom.
Yeah.
It was like anywhere else in that house was cool, but it was the boys' bedroom.
It was focused in their room.
We were catching SLS footage in the boys' bedroom, but nothing else around the house. And then she goes in there with the digital voice recorder, and it started talking to her.
Huh.
It wouldn't talk to us.
Yeah.
It wouldn't talk to us.
Just to her.
Yeah. I mean, I got a little bit, but it's not like what she got.
Right.
What she got it was like another part of her.
Yeah. And we did find out that where they live is
it's old.
It was old Indian ground. It was actually the watering hole.
Swampland.
Swampland. This is stuff that she found. We weren't. The mediums that we talked to told us to try to find out what tribe was prominent there, but there were so many in
I
that
think it was
area.
the Miami, wasn't it?
I think it was Miami was the
Yeah, I think it was
most.
the Miami.
But it's like they couldn't really help until we found out what tribe. Because they were saying, she needs to get a shaman out there, and I don't know. I don't know that part of it. I don't know what she needs to do. We just go get the evidence and try to go from there.
We try to help them out as much as possible. It's
Yeah.
not like we leave them high and dry and not try to figure something out.
And we still talk to her. I mean, I talked to her a couple months ago about it. I mean,
we're good friends. I mean, we're friends.
Yeah.
I mean,
The kids are still experiencing stuff.
She told me it was
You
after.
talked to her more than I did.
It was after Christmas, about the first of the year. Her kid started talking about, or he drew a picture of like a dead person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that kind of freaked her out.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Because I think he's only like 5.
Yeah, he's young.
Okay,
Okay.
here's another one of the
Yeah.
here's another one of the thingies coming up.
I'll take you up now.
That one was a little bit more disturbing than the others.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take you up now.
Mm.
And
Very creepy.
And to us, we think it says we like your pain.
We like your pain.
Which would make sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Like I said, walking in there, you see all kinds of stuff going on with that individual alone. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a doctor or anything, but when you walk in there and you see somebody hovered over a beer and a bottle of wine, you're trying to figure out what's going on. And then she ended up telling us that she has depression and anxiety and
high anxiety.
Yeah, high anxiety and all kinds of stuff. So
Definitely something for them to latch onto.
sure. And they like to feed off of her. And I told her, I said, whatever's here with you is feeding off of you, feeding off of what you got. And sure enough, that pretty much documents what it wants to do.
Probably 90% of the home investigations we've done will have some sort of anxiety issue or depression.
And they make it to where they can manifest their own spirit, possibly to make it just like them, make their life terrible.
Well,
and you got to let them know. You got to change your ways. You need to get help. You need to look at life better than what you're looking at it now. You got to be more happier in life, or this will come back.
Well, and this like this possible case that we're going to have, if he gets back to us, that the guy, he thinks there's something demonic. He did tell us that his daughter suffers from bipolarism, and they just found out she is. I think he said it's low on the spectrum, but of autism.
Oh, okay. And they're very sensitive too.
Yes,
something else that that stuff is attracted to.
Hey, Chris, are you able to bring up those two other pieces? One says those are from Indiana home. The other says home in Indiana.
I could be able to see.
You seem to have gotten a lot of stuff from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are just the best ones. I mean, we had some other.
Yeah,
I don't have
we
the
got-
other two. No.
The other
You don't?
stuff that you can't make out. And,
No.
You know.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. You don't have the other two. What did you try to say?
I got a still picture.
I told you. I
That's
just
not in
said, "Hey,
iPhone.
Bill, the video didn't work."
Yeah, I don't know why.
He's sending you pictures when he's supposed to be sending videos.
And I'm usually good at that
Maybe
thing.
I do.
But
Okay, maybe I do. Hold on.
He says he thinks he has one.
Okay.
Let's see.
I think there should only be 3.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I do have one more.
Well, it's good that you're still keeping in touch with her, and you know, that's
And
important. I think.
Even the one in Mansfield, I'm actually working on sending them a video of stuff that we've caught.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Uh,
that's good. They always like to see what comes out. I think he's got it upcoming. Here it goes.
Yeah. Gotta play again.
It's lagging.
Yeah. You the first time. Yeah. See, it's the same voice,
Mm-hmm.
but that one's harder to make out what it's.
What it's saying. What did you think it was saying?
Something behind her, or behind something. It's behind something.
She's pointing out
Yeah.
that she had a REM pod and the EVP or the digital voice recorder. So she was pointing out where the stuff was, trying to get it to,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
you know, touch the REM pod or whatever. So she's kind of, you know, going around the room and pointing where things are. And then it says something about
Being behind something.
you or behind her, or
it was hard. It was very hard to hear the last part of what it was trying to say. So, yeah.
But it's
Well, how long were you guys there that night?
3 a.m. 2.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Well, about 3 or 4, because we actually
3 or 4
because of her whole meltdown. We didn't get started.
Yeah, that's right. She did melt
about
down.
9 o'clock. So yeah, we investigated for about probably 6 hours.
6 hours.
Yeah. Which that's
Wow.
normally, you know, if it's
Yeah,
if
I would say
on,
that. I would say 6 hours is probably like average, 4 to 6 hours, depending on what comes out of it. So
yeah, if nothing's going on, we try not to overstay. But
right. Well, this has been an extremely interesting evening. You shared so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for sharing your night. I'm so grateful to you for opening up as you did, and for your excitement and the enthusiasm about the show and the interview. It was a lot of fun. I'd love to have you back again sometime.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All you got to do is message us. We'll definitely do this again, Eleanor.
Great.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. And for sharing all that footage. That's great. But now, you can tell people where they're able to go to, once again, if they want to watch and listen to what you produce.
We have a Facebook page, which it's
New York Paranormal Society.
Most of the stuff is the name,
except for Twitter. New York Paranormal 1. Well, I think the 1 is the L.
Is an L?
I think so.
I don't do the Twitter thing. So.
I do Twitter. I love Twitter.
we have TikTok. We put
TikTok,
we put videos on
Instagram.
TikTok and Instagram. But yeah, just
What is it? Are you paranormal? What are you? Newark Paranormal Society on TikTok?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, because I'm gonna have to look for you there too.
Well, because I was like, I'm not getting no TikTok. I mean, I
didn't want to.
I don't, but I got it, and I was like, this is. I mean, I enjoy it because it's for our paranormal group. It's not for me. You'll never see me on there twerking or doing some stupid stuff like that, like on these pages. We just want to show people what we do.
Yeah. Sure.
What we get, what we're about. It's
Oh, and we do have a event coming up at Buckingham in June.
Buckingham House in Newark, Ohio. We're going to have the public come in, and we're going to actually. They're going to investigate. They're going to learn how to be investigators. They're going to learn what we do, the equipment we use. They're going to investigate. They're going to. They're going to. Yeah.
Well, and like if they say they went somewhere and they got an EVP, but they don't know how to.
Yeah.
View it or do whatever we're going to show them.
And how did they find out about that event, and how much is the fee?
It's like $50.
$50. It's 4 hours. And because they've never done anything at the Buckingham House, have they?
No,
they haven't done anything there before.
I don't think so.
But I know we shared it on our social media.
Have we?
Great.
Yeah.
So they could see it there. Good.
I think it's June. I don't even remember what date. we've got the Post Town Academy in July, and
with Brian Cano.
Yeah.
So we'll be working with him 3 more times this year.
And it's like a school. It's the whole weekend.
Right.
You get to spend a night at Post Town.
Yeah, that's $379.
$375
for 2 days. For 2 days, you can investigate as long as you want to for 2 days.
But Brian and Beth, the media, Beth Deering, they have some classes that they've set up for different. I don't know.
It's like lectures and workshops and stuff like that. We did a workshop last time, and they had a really good time. They actually learned how to put it. Like, actually, I thought I had it on my. I guess it's over there. Let me get that box.
Yeah, we taught them how to make motion sensors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we taught them how to make these. Basically, it's just a regular motion sensor. It just goes off, and it's just. What I don't even know if there's a battery in there. Might be.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, they get.
So
yeah, we try to learn how to build some of our own equipment. I mean, some stuff is beyond our expertise, but there are like motion sensor is fairly easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the equipment's like outrageous these days. So so you kind of
if you can make it on your own, then you're better off, right?
Cheaper.
Yeah. Yep. Well, like the SLS camera, I made my own. I took my kid's Xbox Connect camera, and pretty much you take it and you plug it in. You buy a special adapter for it, and you plug it into a tablet. It has to be a Windows tablet.
Windows 10.
Download the software for the Connect, and that's it.
Yep.
There you go. Wonderful. Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we will see you again sometime.
Absolutely.
Thank you. You guys have a good night then.
Good night. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I hope you've enjoyed this little journey down my own personal nightmare alley. If you're one of those people who experiences the paranormal and has stories of your own you've been filing away over the years, I want to hear about them. And if you're a part of a paranormal investigative team, even better. I'd love to have you on my show. Got a questionable photo? Send it in. Would love to have an open discussion here amongst the professionals. Reach out to me at authoreleanorwagner@gmail.com. Enjoy our soundtrack music, Headless Horseman by Alexander Nakarada, promoted by freestockmusic.com. And
thank you, Techie Chris. We couldn't do it without you. Picture of my books, if you could put that up there, Chris. If any of you are interested in reading any of my books, you can find the links to them on my website, authoreleanorwagner.com. I write about the history of the town and location, add the paranormal story to the mix, and finish it all off with photos and evidence. Chris, do you have that picture to put up?
Get out.
I don't have it. I'm getting it. I had all the other stuff. I have it. I can put it. I have it. There we go.
Yeah, there are the books. You can get them at authoreleanorwagner.com. And if you're looking for some protection from ghostly attachments, the Lady Ghostbuster unisex bracelet is the perfect thing. I have a picture of that one too, Chris.
Yeah, sorry, my computer's lagging.
This gorgeous protective gemstone bracelet with sterling silver ghost charm is the perfect fix. Offered in a collaboration with Zen Jewels by Zen Jen. You can find the link for this gorgeous piece at my website, authoreleanorwagner.com, under the merchandise tab. Don't go into a haunted building unprotected. Arm yourself with the Lady Ghostbuster bracelet by Zen Jewels. Viewers, tune in on May 12th when Art and Liz Peterson from the Lady Ghostbusters paranormal team out of Sussex County, New Jersey, will join us for some ghostly gab. And now you can run that outro, Chris.
I hope you've enjoyed this little journey down my own personal nightmare alley. If you're one of those people who experiences the paranormal and has stories of your own you've been filing away over the years, I want to hear about them. And if you're a part of a paranormal investigative team, even better. I'd love to have you on my show. Got a questionable photo? Send it in. Would love to have an open discussion here amongst the professionals. Reach out to me at authoreleanorwagner@gmail.com. Enjoy our soundtrack music, Headless Horseman by Alexander Nakarada, promoted by freestockmusic.com. And